Go ahead, Brennan.
Hey, Hubert.
Yeah.
I know you are not a guy who reflects as much in the moment, especially in the sense of the season. You said the other night, sometimes you're just going from moment to moment. You don't really have time to think about it. But thinking back to the first time you went to Duke 2 years ago versus now, are there any ways that you've noticed the difference in your coaching style or your comfort or anything, over the course of that? You're 100 games in now.
I don't think, not a difference that I can think of right now. I mean, I just, in anything that you do, the more times that you do it, I think you become more comfortable. You see the things that you enjoy, the things that you like, the things that you don't like, things that may need to alter or tweak or adjust. I've always said that I love being in a position of listening and learning. I've never felt like, whether I was a player or assistant coach or an analyst, where I felt like I was there, I know it all. And obviously 3 years in, I don't know it all. And just continuing to learn and to grow and try to improve every day.
Hubert, after what you went through last year, and I know this is another question probably you won't like asking you to reflect, but is there like a sense of vindication at all with the success that you guys have had this year? Because talk about blocking out the noise. There's some nasty noise out there about you last year from fans and such.
Well, one of the things that I know, I have not reflected on that. I really believe this. There is a reason, and these are my beliefs. There is a reason for all seasons, and there was a reason. There was a reason for this season, for the first season, for the second season, and those reasons. He is the reason for all seasons, meaning Jesus is the reason for all seasons, and those reasons are good. And those reasons are good irregardless if it's a sunny day or a cloudy day. Those reasons are good. And the person that I am today, the coach that I am today, was because of the good reasons from year one and year two. And I really believe that. Last year was a blessing. I am a better person and a better coach because of last year. And that's the way I believe.
How are you a better coach?
Experience. Going through, I think it's really good going through sunny and rainy days. I think it makes it stronger. I think it makes you even more thankful, appreciative. I'm thankful for the experiences that I've had, the cloudy days and the sunny days.
Hubert, you said a few weeks ago how important it was for you guys to win this regular season championship, and now here you are on the doorstep of winning it outright. You got to share that you can win it outright on Saturday. Is that same important feeling that you had a few weeks ago still there? And the second part of that is, how good is it that these two rivals, the best rivalry in college sports, is coming down to a championship, regardless of how hyped this rivalry is? There's a championship on the line too.
Yeah, we're focused. Obviously our next game is Duke, but our focus is on us. Our focus is on our preparation, our practice, to make sure that as a team we're continuing to improve and we're trying to get as close as possible to becoming the best team that we can possibly become. And you think about, I was having a conversation with Coach Jeff Lebo when I was here at Carolina. 2 of the years came down to the last regular season game to determine who was regular season champs. And so We were talking about that, and it was a little bit different. The last game was here at home, and it's always competing against the best, and obviously Duke and their program is one of the best in the country, and so having an opportunity to be able to play them this Saturday on a last regular season ACC game is an honor and a privilege, and we're really excited about it.
Along those
Is
same
it-
lines, with
Can I
the
follow
ACC,
that?
yeah, go ahead.
Is there a sense that all is right in the world when Duke and North Carolina is playing, for a
I don't know what all is right in the world. I think it's fun. I think it's good, but I don't know what all is right means. But when Carolina do play, it's always good. So it doesn't really matter if it's the last game of the regular season or not. It's always fun to play in.
Good and fun, but considering that the ACC is going to be expanding to the West Coast next year, not every team will be making it into the tournament. This is really kind of the last season of the ACC as we now know it. Is it kind of fitting that it comes down to Carolina and Duke in that last game for the regular season title?
Well, the ACC will always be the ACC. Things have changed. You talk about the ACC as we all know it. Not me. I remember it when it was 8 teams and everybody was playing each other twice, and you didn't have to get on the airplane. You took a bus everywhere. And so going to Cole Fieldhouse. Okay? So it's a little bit different. And so regardless of Stanford and Cal and SMU joining the conference next season, the ACC will always be the ACC, and there's no difference in that.
Hubert, along those
As far
lines,
as,
having grown up and playing in the double round robin format of this league, how is it different now winning a championship against teams that you might only face once a year as opposed to facing teams that are gonna know you inside and out both times?
I don't think it makes a difference at all. I mean, our schedule is our schedule because of the teams that we have in the ACC at this moment, and adding 3 more. There are teams that you play twice, and there's teams that you don't. The thing that you have to focus on is whatever's on your schedule, be the best that you can be, and at the end of the year, live with the results.
Hubert, looking at Duke, obviously they've won, 8 of 9. The other guys, when they were in here, they were saying the guard play since the last time you guys have played them has, gotten a lot better, gotten a lot more consistent. So how have you kind of seen, I guess, Duke's guards, improve from the last time you saw them? How have you seen that?
I thought they were pretty good when we played them.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeremy Roach is having another terrific season. I think he leads the ACC in 3-point shooting percentage in conference games, and McCain the ball extremely well. Their guard play, they can defend, they can shoot, they can penetrate, distribute. They're really good defenders, and they can also get to the offensive glass, and so they're playing at a high level, but I feel like our guards are playing pretty well also, so it'll be a good matchup.
And how do you think your team has changed, improved, if at all, from last month when you faced Duke last time?
Well, I think we're playing a little bit better defensively. I know that I thought we guarded the 3 really well, but they had 54 points in the paint. I think they shot over 50% from the field, and so we just got to do a better job of that. I think we took care of the basketball. I think we only had 4 turnovers, and that allowed us, in terms of our defense, to always for them to come up against a set defense as opposed to getting out in transition where they're really good. But at that time we were 9-1 in the ACC, coming off a 10-game win streak, and defensively we were pretty good. But I like the way that we played defense against Notre Dame, and my hope is that we can continue to get better at that area.
Hubert, one of the things you guys had to sort of navigate on the fly in the first Duke game was the way they defended RJ, face guarded him, and tried to sort of take him out of what you all like to do. Having seen that the first time, is there a way to counteract that, or maybe prepare for possibly seeing that sort of coverage again this time around?
Well, that was probably the first game where teams started to really face guard him. Was coming off a Georgia Tech game where he had 27, 28, in that game, but the Duke game was probably the first game where teams started to really top block and, deny every pass and really try to take him out of his actions. I felt like we've improved in terms of, setting screens, running different plays to free up RJ, to give him space, whether it's coming off of screens or with the ball in his hands. And so I feel like we have a better attack for teams that do that, but you also have to give credit to Duke. They have, as I said before, they've got good individual defenders. So Proctor was the one that was on him. He has length, he has athleticism, and so anybody playing us, it would be advantageous to try to take RJ out of his rhythm, and so that's something that teams from that Duke game have tried to do with RJ, and we'll be prepared for that.
Given that, how much more important does it make Seth Trimble in a game like this?
I think it makes everybody. I mean, it's not just Seth, who is extremely valuable for us, but everybody. And the thing that I like about us is that, and we talked about this before, them being able to top block RJ in that game. Well, Harrison had 6 threes, and Armando, played extremely well. There were 3 games prior to that, where they were playing Armando differently, and then RJ was going off for 30. So we have a number of different guys that can have big nights, whether it's Seth, Harrison, Cormac, Elliott, Armando, Jay Wash, Jay Witt, that can step up in those times that where defenses adjust to other players. And so that's something that we've been able to do all season, that I feel confident that we can do for the remainder of the season.
Take a few more.
The guys say naturally that going in there and playing in that environment's fun. They like everything about it when they walk out on the court during warm-up. Is it fun for you at all? Is it any different because it's cramped and it's warm and people are on top of you and the stage that the game is on?
It doesn't bother me at all. I just, as a player, as a coach, I'm unaware of what is going on in the crowd. I'm so focused on our team and how we play that that outside noise is really mute for me. As a player, the 2 places that I felt it the most was Reynolds Coliseum and Cole Fieldhouse. So, in Chicago Stadium in the NBA. Maybe that had something to do with MJ. And I knew he was going to score 60 on us.
How about, is it fun for you having a game of this magnitude? You have a chance to win. You coached the national championship game. You coached in the Final Four. There's 2 games against Duke 2 years ago. Is it fun for you preparing for a game like this, or is it just laser focused business, doesn't matter?
It's fun every game. I think it's enjoyable and fun every game. I have as much fun at shoot around and practice in the game. It's all the same to me. There's not one game, wow, I'm really revved up for this one, or this game, I'm just not locked in this one. I'm ready to go. Anytime you get a chance to be out there on the floor, I'm ready to go.
Hubert, I'm sure you've given this no thought, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Time to reflect.
I was looking through my email. I have the All ACC ballot in here. We could have a situation next week. Probably will have a situation next week where RJ's the ACC Player of the Year, and Caleb could be the Pac-12 Player of the Year. How would you react to that? Like if those 2 guys end up being their respective conference players of the year?
I wouldn't react other than joy and happiness. I want every kid to be able to have success. I want them to be able to have the same experience in college that I had. And maybe that's naive on my part, but I do. I just have a burning desire for every student athlete to walk away from their time at whatever program they're at with the feeling that I had when I left North Carolina, wanting to never leave and always wanted to come back. And so if that happens, that would put a huge smile on my face.
Thank you, everybody. We'll get Harris.